Shalom, everybody, and you're welcome to the parasha of this morning. Welcome to the study, parasha study of this morning. And the parasha of this morning that we're going to discuss about is called Parshas Shelah, or the full name is called Shelah-Lekha. Okay, Shelah-Lekha, to send. That is what it means, to send. All right, and I subtitle it Trusting in God. The subtitle is Trusting in God. And before I move towards the parasha to start explaining what it is, I want us to get something very, very clear. First of all, I want to define what is the word trust. Because if you don't understand what does it mean, then it's going to be a problem for us to understand what God is about to tell us this morning. Okay? What is trust? Or what is the meaning of trust? Trust is a firm belief in the reliability, in truth, in ability or strength of someone or something. That is, you have a firm belief in the reliability of a truth, of an ability, or of a strength of something or someone. For example, I can say relations have to be built on trust. That is, for you to have a relationship, for you to have between a man or a woman, or between you and your God, it takes trust, because you trust that He is able to do everything for you. You believe in the reliability of God. You believe in the truth of God. You believe in the ability of God. You believe in the strength of God. You believe in the power, the awesome power of God. Right? So, let us start define trusting in God. I just defined what the meaning of trust. Now, what is trusting in God? Trusting in God is having a faith and belief, or believing with your entire being that God has your back. Okay? What is trusting in God? Trusting in God is having a faith, a belief that with your entire being, with your entire strength, with your soul, with your mind, with everything, that the Holy One, blessed be He, has your back. That He can defend you. That He is there to do what? To bless you, to keep you, to do anything that you want for you. So, having said that, having your back, what does it mean? That means He will help you and He will take care of you. Trusting is a choice. Understand? Trusting is a choice. And it is not a feeling. It's not, I feel to trust. It's not a feeling. It's a choice that individually and collectively we have to make. It is not that, I feel I trust somebody. No, it's not a feeling. It is not a human feeling. It is a choice that you have to make between what is right and what is wrong. I have a choice. I'm trusting in this person. I'm trusting in my wife. It's a choice on my own part that I choose that I trust my wife. It's not a feeling. The trust is not a love. It's not the same thing. It's not equivalent with love. Because many people love to confuse the two together, thinking that trusting is loving. Oh, you don't trust me, that means that you don't love me. That is not true. Okay? That is not true. But they coexist together. I understand that. But they are two different things. So trust is a choice that we have to make as individual. So that being said, the parasha of this morning or of this week is a very, very, very important one. This is truly a faithful parasha, for it is in this week's Torah reading that the Israelites react to the message of the spies, and by their lack of courage condemn themselves to wandering in the wilderness for 40 years. Lack of trust. They condemn themselves with their own hand. It is not God that condemned them. As I said, remember, the original plan was 40 days in the wilderness and the land is theirs. That was the original plan. But they condemned themselves to these 40 years in the wilderness with their own hand. It's like a man shooting himself on his own feet with his own action, thinking, oh, I don't care, nothing will happen, everything is okay. But no, not everything that is okay. You are killing yourself with your own hand. That is, I always say this example. That is a worm, they call it hookworm. It's always live inside the baby pig, in animals, even though sometimes in human, right? And this worm, right, eats the host. It's a parasite. He eats the host, thinking that if he killed the host, he is going to survive. Of course, if you kill the host, you can't survive, because once the host dies, you too die. So your life depends upon the life of the host. So this is the issue here. The Israelites thinking that, okay, they can do whatsoever they want to do and nothing will happen. No. They are shooting themselves on their own feet with their own action and behavior, with lack of trust. The details of the story are clear. Moshe chooses 12 representatives, one from each of the tribes, to scout the land that the people are about to enter. The spies are given a very specific assignment. And what are these assignments? Come back with facts. That is the assignment. Come back with fact, not with fiction. Not what you imagine in your head. Not what you think, but what is true. What is the fact? What you really see, the fact. Okay? Is this a good land? That's the first question. Are the people who live in that land, are they very strong or are they very weak? What is the product in this land? Is it fertile land? Is it a lean land? Is it a land that flow with milk and honey as God has promised? Right? Are the wall of the city built up? Right? Are the people there strong for us to be defeated? Right? See, these are the facts that Moshe is asking them. This spy set out to scout the entire land, and they return with their report. Indeed, the land is good, they proclaim. But the people who live there are too powerful for us to conquer. We cannot conquer them. They are the sons of the giants, the descendants of the Nephilim. How can we conquer them? You know, these men, they are like 10 meters tall, and we are like what? Like an ant. You see? We cannot even match them. We cannot even stand them. Their power is awesome. They are so mighty that we cannot defeat them. So look at the people a year ago that they saw the miracle of God at the sea. God divided the sea for them to pass through. These are the men that defeated kings, that defeated a lot of communities before they reached that part. What happened? This is the people that ask God, we need meat. We want to eat meat. God give them meat. God, we need food. God give them manna. What else? Where is that God that is doing all these things for you? God, we need water. God provide water for them in the wilderness. Where's your faith? Where is your trust? What happened? What is the issue? What's going on in the mind of these men? Let's see. Only Yehoshua and Caleb dissent from the report. Caleb says, let us go up and we shall surely overcome it. In the book of Numbers, chapter 14, verse 30. But the other 10 disagree. The people who live there are too strong than us. We cannot overcome them. We cannot conquer them. They are the descendants of Nephilim. What are you not listening? Are you not seeing? The Israelites break into cries and they complain and ask to return to Egypt. And this complaint leads to the punishment of 40 years wandering in the wilderness. Remember, he said, appoint a leader to take us back to Egypt, as they have appointed another God to praise, saying, the calf led us out of Egypt. Now, they are about to replace Moshe Rabbeinu. Understand? Remember, in the case of the golden calf, they say, "O Israel, this is the God that lead you out of Mizraim." Everybody say, "Yay!" They shout, right? They rejoice. They commit whoredom. And 3,000 died in one day. The same thing happened now, because now they say, okay, we're not going to replace God. Now we're going to replace the person that is calling himself the messenger of God. We are going to replace Moshe because this guy, he doesn't know what he's doing. Well, what do you mean that you call yourself a prophet and you have not foreseen this? What kind of prophet are you? You are bringing us into the wilderness to kill us. Why didn't we remain in Egypt? You should have left us alone. Let us die in Egypt. There is grave in Egypt. You let us leave us to do what? To serve the Egyptians. You should have left us alone. Why bringing us and our children, our wife, into the wilderness to kill us? It was a plan. According to the Midrashim, or according to some of that sages, so all these things we are going to see next week, that all this issue was actually instigated by the man called Korah. It was instigated by this man, so that he said, let us appoint a leader. It is written there. Let us appoint a leader that will lead us back to Egypt. Who is this leader? They want to appoint Korah to lead them back. So they need to overthrow Moshe. We don't need you anymore. Thank you. Merci beaucoup. Bye-bye. You are not a prophet. You cannot foresee all these things. What type of prophet are you? You see, a man killing himself with their own action because of position, because of power struggle. There is a disagreement in the camp. There is a lot of problem in the camp. We saw that even though from the family of from his own family, from Moshe Rabbeinu's family last week, right? From Miriam. You see, all this problem is coming up into the surface, right? And this is what God is telling us this morning, that the people themselves, they complain and they do what? And they rise up against the servant of God. Then we think about this parasha. A number of questions comes immediately to my mind when I think about it. First, we wonder what was the purpose of the entire scouring of the land. What is the purpose of going to spy the entire land? What does it mean? Why did God instruct Moses to send out the spies in the first place? Why? It is unclear from the text, and it's puzzled a lot of scholars along before the modern reader. Indeed, Ramban point out that the first chapter of Deuteronomy tells us that the people came to Moshe and asked him to send men ahead to spy the entire land for us and bring us back word on the route we shall follow and the cities we shall come into. You see, in the book of Deuteronomy chapter 1, this event was recounted also there. But in that case, in the second case, in the book of Deuteronomy, it was stated that the men came to Moshe to ask that Moshe should send men, right? But in this account, in this account that we are reading, it says, remember, I will read again. Adonai spoke to Moses, saying, "Send forth men if you please. Send men if you please." That means those people, they came to Moshe demanding that Moshe should send spies ahead of them to spy the entire land and come and bring them word. And that is not the plan of God. No, because God has power to do all things. But God said, you know what, if that is what they want, Moshe brought the matter to God, because Moshe can't just decide like that. Moshe brought the matter unto God. And God said, okay, if that is what they want, if you please, you can send them. That's no problem. It is your choice. You decide if you want to send them or not. But the people are pressing hard on Moshe. So, and this is another thing that our sages has told us, that these men, before they left, these men have been corrupted. They've been corrupted by who? By Korah. Before they left at all. He said, when they come, this is the report that you have to give. Because Korah want them to return back to Egypt. Remember, Korah was a wealthy man, was a very rich man. He has maybe bribed them, he has corrupted their mind, give them some money. Don't come and say anything good. Just come, say anything negative, so that let the people revolt, and then you overthrow Moshe, and I bring you back to Egypt. That is the plan. The negative side, the negative plan, the evil plans. You see, because Korah wants to control everything by himself. He wants to be respected, you know. I'm the chief guy. Ramban reconcile the two sides, the two versions, the one in Deuteronomy and the one that we're reading now, by saying that first the people came to Moshe, as I said, with their request. And even though God saw no need for the enterprise, for them to send spies, God acceded to their wishes. Interestingly, the Deuteronomy version gave us the bad news that the spies report, but it ignores the conflict within the group of 12. We didn't hear what Caleb said, or the message of encouragement at all in the version in Deuteronomy. If we follow Ramban's interpretation, God angers at the people after the spies return with their negative report, making even worse the sense of it all. You see, they went and they came not with a positive report, but with a negative one. But we're going to see, is this a negative report or a positive report? What is all this thing? I mean, what is going on in the camp? Because remember, to lead an animal is the simplest thing. The hardest thing in the world, the hardest thing under the sun, is to lead a human being. To be a leader is hard. People don't understand that. People always say, oh, you know, the leader is saying, yeah, we know we have bad leaders. I understand that. We have leaders who doesn't care about their people. We have leaders that when they came into power, they are like this. They are as skinny as anything, but under 2 weeks, they are as fat cats. They don't give a damn about their people. They only sit down there and eat and to themselves to death. They only care about their own pocket. They only care about their own bank account. I understand that. But a real leader, a real shepherd, is a servant. It is not the people are the leader. Why the man that is in charge of them is a servant? Because he's serving the people. That's what it means. You have to take care, because the life of the sheep is the most important. You have to give your life for your sheep. That is a shepherd, a good shepherd. When the lion comes, the bear comes, the wolf comes, want to take any of the sheep, the shepherd run and stand firm and kill any of those animals. And if he doesn't have the power to kill them, and that is it. He has to be ready to sacrifice his life for the sheep. That is a leader, because a leader is a servant. And that is what we are going to see over and over in this week parasha. Even though when the people sinned and God was about to destroy them, the servant came again. The shepherd came. Moshe came, beginning to plead. God, no, you can't do this. Go away, I'm going to destroy them. I'm going to raise you another people. You think that God cannot do it? He will do it instantly. But no, Moshe said, no, God, this is not the plan. What is the people are going to say if the Egyptians hear this? What are they going to say? They say you deceived them, that you brought them down here to kill them, to destroy them, to consume them. Right? So you can see a true man, a true leader. Even though the spies of them planning to overthrow him, planning to kill him, planning to stone him, he says, stand up and pray for them. It was not even God's idea to send the spies. And now they return to discourage all the people with their sense of despair and inadequacy, with their sense of distrust, with their sense of mistrust, with their sense of skepticism, and with their sense of doubt. You see, there is a passage in the Torah that the sin of a doubter is equal with the sin of a witchcraft. You see, equivalent. The sin of a doubter is equivalent with the sin of a witchcraft, because it is very, very deadly for someone to doubt. You have to stand firm. I know we are human beings. I understand that. Don't say, oh, Rabbi, it's easy for you because you understand the Torah. No, I'm not saying it's as easy as that, but you have to take a stand. That is what I'm saying. It is the result of a will. It's a will resolve. You have to will it. It is not things that, as I said, that is you just say out of your mouth and you don't mean it. You have to mean it. It's a man. The will of a man is strong, even though the Creator confirmed to that. The God that we serve confirmed to the will of man. Right? I will bring you back again when they were about to construct the Tower of Babel. You know, during the construction, God said, "Oh, the will of these people are so strong. If we allow them, they will do whatever they want to do." We have to come and change their language. Scatter their language because their will is so strong. The will of a man is strong. If man decides, say, this is what I'm going to do, I will not go back. And that's what he's going to do. And that's what I'm saying. That is exactly what I'm saying. That your will is the call. The will of a man. Standing firm, said, I choose the right path. I'm going to stand on the Torah. I'm going to choose the Torah no matter what. No matter the temptation, the trial, the up and down, I stand with the Torah. I clear myself with the Torah. I will not leave it alone. For the Torah is the tree of life. It's the Torah that can lead you to the world to come. God ends up in the role of a parent whose teenage child talked him into borrowing the family car, only to return later that night with a smashed up vehicle. Understand? That was what I was saying yesterday. God now is a papa and is a mama. And now God, we told God, give me your car. I want to go and do some errand, right? And God gave us the car, and we drive the car, right, outside, and we smash it, and we come back to our father. Oh, the car is smashed. Oh, the friend you says, Sifini, right? Man killing himself with his own action. The purpose of the mission is not the only question the reader confronts with. What was it about the report of the spies that lead to God's disapproval? I want you to ask yourself this question. What was in that report? What was in the report that leads to the disapproval of God? That God disapproved their report? Were the spies lying? That's the question. Were they lying? Were the spies lying? That's the first question. Of course not. They were not lying. The spies were not lying. They said what they saw. They told the people exactly what they saw. Understand? They were not lying. Yes, in the land, there were giants. No? Yes. In the land, was it flowing with milk and honey? Yes. Because they brought up fruit, big fruit. They said the land is good. Was the land first up to the heaven? Yes. You have Jericho was first onto the heaven, right? Where the descendants of the Nephilim, were they living there? Yes. Were the giants living there? Yes. It was true. They were not lying. Did they give a false report to Moshe? That's the question. They didn't. They said what they saw. And if they were telling the truth, why should they be punished for simply reporting what they saw? Why? So we're going to see the reason why. My sense is that the failure of the spies was not in misreading the nature of the land. It's not misreading what they saw in the land, nor the misrepresenting what they have seen, but rather the distrust, the mistrust, the skepticism, and the doubting in the ability of God. That is what the problem is. Because they doubted God, that is unable to do it for them. They mistrust God that, oh, we are finished. Remember, let us go to Parashah Bamidbar chapter 13. I'm going to read from, just a minute, from verse 3. Actually, let me read from verse 2. verse 2 and verse 3, okay? Bamidbar, Numbers chapter 13, verse 2. Send forth men, if you please, and let them spy out the land of Canaan that I give to the children of Israel. God said, I give it already. God has given the land to the children of Israel. One man each from his father's tribe shall you send, every one a leader among them. Moses sent them forth from the wilderness of Paran at Adonai's command. They were all distinguished men, heads of the children of Israel were they. Remember, he said, these are distinguished men. These are men of war. These are warriors. These are strong men. These are men that led the Torah. These are men who are wise, who are advanced in the understanding of the Torah. And these men are coming back to tell me that we are finished. Ordinary people, what do you think that they are going to do? They are going to run. They are going to cause chaos. They are going to cause uprising. They are going to cause tribulation. They are going to cause a lot of things among the people. As a leader, you don't do that. That's what God is saying. As a leader, you have to, even though if that is what you saw, you have to have the ability, the confidence that God is able to do it. I will be able to lead them out of these circumstances. You don't, I understand, they are afraid, but if a captain, right, of an army come and tell the people, and tell his battalion, and say, listen, I cannot do anything, I take my load, I run. What do you think the ordinary soldier will do? The ordinary soldier will run away because the commander is nowhere to be found. The commander ran away. The commander said, I cannot fight. How come you want me to come and fight when the commander said, I cannot fight? No. I'm not here to kill myself, right? That is it. That's what God is saying. You have to move as a team. We are one. You have to move as a single unit. The body is comprised of how many? Different parts, but they are one single unit. It is holistic. You cannot separate yourself and come and give a negative news and say, do you think everything is fine with Canada? Of course not. But the leaders, they pretend because they don't want to cause chaos in the society. If they say sometimes the truth is hard. Because if the prime minister come and say, okay, this is what is happening in the country, everybody will there'll be chaos everywhere. Uproar. But the prime minister will pretend and say everything is fine. Okay? Be calm. This is what we are facing, and this is a plan that we have to do what? To overcome it. Everybody will be calm. But when you come and start talking negatively, then there's a problem. The people will rise up because nobody wants to die in the wilderness. There'll be uproar. So remember what I said. It was all planned, according to a rabbi, by who? By Korah. Okay? Rather, they had failed in other and more subtle way. These leaders, these men of war, these strong men, these captains, this head of the tribes of each person, 10 of them. Remember 2, they said, no, this is not true. 2 said, Yehoshua and Caleb said, this is not true. We can conquer them. We can do it because God is with us. We can go up and destroy them because they believe, they trust in the Lord. And remember, Caleb is from the tribe of where? From the tribe of Judah. He's one representing them. Representing the tribe of Yehudah, right? But he is not a Jew or Yehudim. Because no Yehudim give their child Caleb. Caleb in Hebrew meaning dog. And Caleb is what? Is a Kenite. But still representing strong and powerful in faith. That is another example that God is showing us. Right? That those people that call themselves, I am the children of God, I am the children of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, I can do what I want to do. In the last day, a going will come and be number one. While those ones that say, hey, I am this and that and that, there will be nowhere to be found. Their corpse will die off in the desert because they lack faith. They thought everything is by work. No, work and faith is intertwined. It's the same. Abraham walked and Abraham had faith. And this is what God is talking about, that we have to have the faith of our fathers. We have to do the work of our fathers. The work of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And the same faith like Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Their report brought despair and virtual rebellion into the camp of the Israelites. By misunderstanding the role of leadership, we are told, after all, that each of the spies was a chieftain among them. Remember, they were leaders. They were not just ordinary. If they sent ordinary men, that is different. But they sent leaders, captains, generals to go, and the generals came back and tell the soldiers, you cannot fight. You see, they've already destroyed themselves. What do you think? Morally, psychologically, mentally, they've been defeated. Because they said the giant is so giant and we are like an ant. We cannot even face them, cannot even fight them. Psychologically, they finish. Right? They can't even fight them. Because they've already called themselves that they are an ant before them. They prove themselves unworthy of the trust Moses has placed in them. Trusting. Moses placed trust in them and they came back with nonsense. And secondly, the spy failure was not in the misstating the truth about the land and the people who lived there. Rather, the self-perception of the scout brought about their downfall. That's what I just said now. Okay? It is not that I am not telling you that when you see something you come and lie or sugarcoat it. No. But there is a way that you can speak. Okay, this is the report, right? For example, this is a report. You call Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu, this is a report. These are the people that we saw. These are the things that we saw during our 40 days mission. But these are the plan that we have. We have this plan and this plan and this plan and this plan and the teacher, Moshe. They okay, I think you have a good plan. Let me go and consult God and let's see what God is going to tell us about the plan, what we have to do. Not to come and proclaim before the whole people, hey, we are done, we finished, we cannot, come on. You are causing problem within the people. Because that is actually what Korah wants to happen. So that he can take the people back into slavery in what? In Egypt. True, the nation of Canaan were powerful, which is true, that's the fact. But Caleb announced that they would succeed against the inhabitants. The other proclaimed that they would fail. Surely, both Caleb, Joshua, and the 10 doubters had scattered the same land. So what happened? Why is it that this one sees something differently and this one sees another thing differently? But they went to the same place. I'm going to give us understanding, spiritual understanding here. We are seeing the same thing. That is black is black. It's white is white. We are seeing the same thing. But some people are seeing differently from what I am saying. Or I am seeing a different thing from what other people are seeing. What is going on? We went to scout the same land. We went to spy the whole land. But how come I have a different understanding from the other people? Or how come the other people are having different understanding from me? Is it not the same land? Are we living in some parallel world or in some parallel universe? I don't understand. So let's see. The doubters stated, all the people we saw, all men of great size, and we look like a grass to ourselves, and so we must have looked to them. Numbers chapter 13, verse 33. This is the most telling line of all. In our own eyes. See, in their own eyes, they say they look like what? Like a grass cutter, like an ant. The giant didn't even say so. The giant didn't even know who they are. How come you are now assuming that you've been defeated mentally? You've been defeated morally. You've been defeated psychologically. You are saying you are giving yourself self-defeat, self-destruction. The Israelite spies were weak. It was a failure of their own self-understanding, not the reality of the situation that was the problem. It is not the reality of the situation, no. But they themselves have destroyed themselves within. It is not the reality. Yes, the giants are there. Yes, other things are there. Okay, didn't you recall what happened at the sea? The reality is that if you jump into the sea and you cannot swim, you die. Is that not? That's the reality. You cannot swim, and why are you jumping into the sea? Are you not stupid? That is suicide. That is the reality. But suddenly, there was a way that opened. That is the reality. And that is because God is there to assist you. Like Jonah, right? Jonah cannot swim, right? Because he doesn't want to go and prophesy to Nineveh, right? He jumped into the sea. That is the reality. He cannot swim, he died, right? No, that is it. But God came miraculously, make a way to swallow him and vomit him on the shore on the other side. That is the work of God. That is the miracle that God can do. Why do you want to self-destruct yourself? Because of the lack of trust. Trusting in the Lord. My people, we have to trust in the Lord. We have to put our hope. I understand it is hard. Because some of us, we think that we are so smart. I have a PhD. I'm a doctor of science. Right? How can I give my entire life into somebody I don't see? Into somebody I don't know? Into somebody I don't even know who he is? Right? To direct, to drive my life. No, I can't do that. It is the hardest thing to do, I understand. But you have to trust God. You have to put your hope in him. He is the one who is the author of all creations. He is the one that created the all multiverse, that know where the hole and the pits are. You as a human being with your naked eye, you cannot see it. He is the one that sees them all. And that's why he has given us the Torah of life, that we can understand where the holes are, where the paths are, and so that we can be able to, that can lead us onto the tree of life. Once we don't put our hope in the Lord, we are wasting our time. All the enterprise is nonsense. But the number one thing is to trust our God. Interestingly enough, the Torah verses number 13 verse 21 to 24 state, it never tells us that the spies actually saw anything like that. There is no objective. There is not any objective narrator telling us the real truth. We only learn what happened from the participants themselves. Truth, the Torah suggests, is the perception of reality and that each individual brings. So what is the truth? The Torah is teaching us this morning. The Torah is telling us individually what is the truth. The truth, the Torah says, is your perception. What you perceive, the way you perceive it. I can perceive this Torah as the Torah of truth, the Torah of life, and the Torah that leads me to the tree of life. Another person can perceive it as a story. Say, oh, it's just a story, it doesn't matter. Another person can perceive it, oh, it's a man handwriting. Another person can perceive it, oh, this is nonsense. It's not in there. Everything is your perception. The angle that you are watching it from, that is where the truth is. I might say, you know what? This angle, this is what I'm seeing. And you might say, oh, that is not true. And you are seeing from this angle, and we are seeing the same thing. It's the same object, but we are seeing it in different perspective. We are understanding it with different understanding. The Midrash states in Pasikta by Rabbi Kahana tells us that each person at Sinai received the revelation in his or her own individual and appropriate way. That is to say, each grasped the ultimate reality in his or her own particularity. Okay, the revelation at Sinai that we just did, the festival that we just did not long ago at Shavuot. Oh, we received the Torah, hey, thank God, la la la. Everybody perceived this ultimate reality in their individual way. Remember, not everybody perceive it as the same. No, because we have different understanding. Okay, different level of knowledge. But But the baby that was there understand the word of God in a baby way. The adult that was there understand the word of God in an adult way. The prophet that were there understood the word of God in a prophetic way. So all of them perceive it in their own understanding. But this week, let's see. Each person can doubt God. That okay, he said that the ultimate reality. That means what we have in this week, parasha. What we have in this week, parasha, is the terrifying other side of that midrash, which is each person can doubt God, or you can doubt God's power in his or her own individual way. That was the counterbalance to the what? To the revelation at Sinai. So you can doubt God the way you want, the way in your own understanding. It's like you are unwinding the revelation at Sinai, and God will not accept that. Unacceptable. Why? Because we have said in Sinai, all what God said we shall do. Remember? That was the promise. That was the sign. That was our agreement. You can't go back now from that agreement, because the agreement was signed with blood. It's eternal. You can't come and say, oh no, I didn't say that. No, you said it. So why do you want to unwind it? Why do you want to say that is not true? Why do you want to say, oh, I don't understand it at that time, now I'm understanding, so I don't agree with what I signed? No, it doesn't make sense, my friend. You said you understood in your own way, in an individual way that we understood the word of God, and we said we agree, and we said we signed it, and we said that what we are going to do. Why are you now saying the opposite? Why don't you to go back from what you've already signed? Thus, the story of Parshas Shelah formed a kind of undoing or unwinding of the revelation at Sinai, celebrated so recently at Shavuot. The people were determined to die, or condemned, the people were condemned to die in the desert because they failed God. They have failed God completely. God tested them 10 times, and they failed God 10 times. Remember, God tested who? God tested Abraham 10 times, and Abraham passed 10 times. Why can't you do the same thing like your fathers? What is hard? I know you guys have slave mentality, but God have tried to do what? To delete, I would say, or to reformat. Let me use that word, to reformat your brain, so that it's going to now program a better one. You are what? You are on your own. You have to stand firm and strong. You are no longer a slave. Remember, yes, in those days you were a slave. Your master decides for you, but now you have to decide how to live. You are now the master of yourself. You don't have any other master. Only God is our master, not human being, not the Egyptians. No, you have to learn how to live together in unity, in oneness, holistically. That's what God is saying. In one team, you are a team. You have to know how to do what? To lead yourself. But is God testing them? What is God trying to teach them? What is God trying to bring up in these men? God is trying to bring up faith. Trust. Trust me. I'm there to lead you. God is saying. Have you not seen all what I've done for you? You guys, you are not animals. Even though animals understand. A dog, when you give a dog a food, you know that this is my friend. He come every time he come, he do his tail. You know, oh, my owner is here. Because an animal understand how much more human being. So sometimes I wonder, is animal or those dogs or those animals, are they a being and the human being is the animal? Sometimes I wonder, because we thought that we are too advanced, we thought that our brain is too big, and this, because it's too big, it makes us foolish. I don't understand. Animal understood these simple principles that it become hard for man to understand. You can see a year ago, the sea opened. God make us to pass. God is giving me food, manna every day. I can still see it. God give me flesh to eat. Birds. I asked God for flesh. He gave me flesh. God, he gave me water in the wilderness where there is no lake, no river, nothing. From the rock, water comes out. Come on, this is simple. It's not hard. You can see it with your eyes. Why so hard for people to understand? Are we saying that God is setting them up for failure? No. Our Father is not a wicked man. It's not a wicked God. That God will set us up for a failure. Which man set up their child for a failure? No. He's telling us that we should rise up, stand up, and be the leader, and be the man that he has created us to be. To leap forward. Strange though, that the only mention of the testing of Israel was testing. God as a big mad bass might test the fishing line 10 times a testing. In Numbers chapter 14, verse 22. Drawing the parallel, as I said, with the testing of Abraham. But the most important thing here is a test like the Akedah of Isaac. Did Abraham pass that test or not? Did he fail? Or do we understand, or what do we understand? Perhaps God does not set his favorite people up to fail. No, God will never do that. Far beyond him, far beyond God, for God to set you or me up for failure. No, he will never do that. Far be from the creator of the ends of the universe to set us up to fail. Never. That's not his plan. His plan for us is a plan of good. It's a plan for us to succeed. He said, I know the thought I thought about you. It's a thought of good, not of evil, to give you your expected ends, to give you what you actually want, to give you what you actually desire. Right? So, now is, what is God doing? God is doing that the challenges that he has given us, the testing that is testing us, is not about passing or failing. No. It's about, is the best test are those tests that stimulate learning and growth and self-judgment, self-awareness, self-worthiness. That is that can lead us into improvement. Okay? I'll repeat again. The best test that God is doing, or the best tests are those tests that stimulate learning. It stimulates learning. We have to learn. You have to learn from your mistakes. You have to learn. You see, when a teacher gives the student test, what is he doing? What is the teacher evaluating? The teacher is evaluating, is this student, do they understand? Right? Okay, do they understand what I taught them? Do they understand my teaching? Do they understand what they see? And it's because when you test your student, you know the level where they are. So maybe if they are low, you need to do more to bring them up, right? If they are high, say, yes, good, I can add more. So that is it. It's a stimulation. God is stimulating us to be self-aware of who we are. Self-awareness that you are not animals, but you are human beings. That you are not that you are not what is going on in the world today, where they want to destroy the fundament or the foundation of civilization, right? They want to destroy the family. They tell you a man and a man can do whatever they want to do. They can have a family of your own, have a children. How can you have two fathers and two mothers? I don't understand. God is saying you are not an animal. You are a human being. It's a self-awareness, self-worthiness. What do I want? That I'm what? Self-judgment. I can judge myself. Say, if you judge yourself, who can judge you again? Nobody. Because you judge yourself in the path of justice, in the path of righteousness. Am I doing what is right? Am I doing what the Torah is saying? Or am I doing my own way? Or am I doing my own thing? Or am I saying it doesn't matter? Or I don't care? Or you say, oh, the Torah is old. It's 10,000 years old, 5,000 years old, 3,000 years old. I don't give a damn. Well, I'm living in the 21st century. I can do anything that I want. It's your choice. I said, remember, I told us that trusting is a choice. And the Holy One never ever set us up for failure. God wants us to improve. Remember, relationship. God always talks about relationship. It is not about religion. That I know the two of them are 2R. Relationship and religion is 2R. But 1R is different from another R. The 1R is made by man, while the other R is of God. Relationship. That's what God is talking about. Relationship. Oneness. A team. Remember that we are a team together with our Creator to make the world a better place. We are a team. We are holistically a team with our Creator to make this place a better place. Not religion. Religion will never save you. I have never seen or I have never heard where a religion saved a man. It is the trust in God, in our Creator, that saves us, that leads us, that blesses, that keeps us. Because I'm going to lift you up upon my wings. Why do you want to waste your life? Why do you want to waste my life? Wandering in the wilderness for 40 years and dying in the wilderness, only for their children to inherit the land. Because they are of their disbelief, because they distrust God, because they mistrust God, because they doubted God. And that is impossible. Why do you want to doubt the Creator of the ends of the multiverse? That He cannot do things, that is not a God, that He cannot overpower the giant, that He cannot give you what you desire? No, He can. What God is asking us, is telling us, is to please, to trust Him. Put Him in control. Let Him be the driver, the captain of your ship. And once you put Him in control, you will never get an accident. Your ship will never collapse. That ship will get to the destination in peace. So that is the message of this morning. I just want to encourage us, individually and collectively, those that are watching online, please put your hope in God. Trust in Him. He is the one that can lead you to your expected ends. Parshas Shelah-Lekha. Shabbat Shalom.